Arena Bowl trophy has been the eminent domain of two dynasties. The Detroit Drive won 4 titles in the early years of the league, while the Tampa Bay Storm took home 4 of their own in the mid-90s. In 1998, the Arizona Rattlers have people whispering the D word again. The defending champs have an unparalleled collection of superstars. So far this season, the Rattlers are showing they could make the leap from champion to dynasty. The Milwaukee Mustangs are a team trying to make their own jump. Tonight's clash against the Rattlers is their biggest test yet. Defending Arena Bowl champion Arizona Rattlers are ready to rock your world, taking on the talented Milwaukee Mustangs before a packed house they call the Snake Pit. And the Stangs have some serious sketty up in their high-octane offense. Wide receiver Gary Compton on the left, and on the right, the man they call the Jet, perhaps the fastest man in the Arena Football League, Kevin Pratt. Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Adamley, along with Mike Golick. Glad you could join us for Arizona's 1998 home opener. And Michael, certainly Milwaukee, the best team they have played so far in this young season. The question for the Mustangs, who gets their nod at quarterback?
Well, for the first time in 3 years, a different man started under center. That was Kevin McDougal out of Notre Dame. He took the snaps in week 1. He threw 3 touchdown passes, leading the Mustangs to a win over Florida. In week 2, Todd Hamill, the perennial starter, got the call, the owner of 2 AFL career passing records. He also threw 3 touchdown passes, but they come up in a loss in Orlando. He gets to start tonight. If he should struggle, he's looking over his shoulder at one Kevin McDougal.
I don't think there's any question who gets the nod. Milwaukee has a ton of serious offensive firepower and threats, but I don't think that matters to Arizona because they love playing defense.
In the Arena Football League, everybody's known for their high-scoring offense. It's Arizona's defense that sets the tone. They like to cover, they love to intercept, but they live to hit you. Many teams try to intimidate, very few succeed. This defense, a great success story. And on defense, they're led by Cedric Walker, Cecil Doggett, and Randy Gatewood. And these fellas, along with the rest of that defense, are trying to put the Mustangs on their hit list.
The last time we were here at America West, the Rattlers won Arena Bowl 11. Their quest continues to repeat as champions in 1998. They're 2-0 for this young season. They have lost the toss, and kicking off for Arizona, number 19, Kyle Pooler. He's new this week. We'll a little bit more about him in just a second. The deep threat for Milwaukee, number 3, Rodney Maison in 1997. He led the league in kickoff returns while a member of the Anaheim Piranha. Picked up in the dispersal draft. Rodney has trouble hanging on to the football, but does get it out across the 5-yard line to about the 10 before he was upended by the veteran Flint Fleming, number 10 for Arizona. A look at Todd Hamill, who last week became the all-time leader in pass completions, overtaking the great Jay Gruden, who is now the head coach for the Orlando Predators. So Milwaukee begins its first possession at its own 8-yard line. Hamill to throw. He's on it out to Compton. And some of the ferocious hitting that we are going to see tonight in evidence there by number 6, Cecil Doggett. Offensively for Milwaukee, up front, they'll play 6 different people, but the starting center, their best offensive lineman, Brian Drummey, in 1997, he didn't allow a sack. And one of their wide receivers, he is new to the Milwaukee lineup this year, a veteran out of Notre Dame, Adrian Gerald. Sat out of all of 1997. Contract dispute, was Anaheim's leading receiver, 95 and 96. Pratt, the man in motion. Hamill going to him, and he's got the Milwaukee first down, tackled by Randy Gatewood. Defensively for the Rattlers, Flint Fleming, a 9-year veteran who has played for 5 different teams, but he gives this Arizona defense a definite veteran flavor. And in the secondary, the man who made that earlier tackle, Cecil Doggett, 2 interceptions on this young season, and he was a terror in our opener against the Iowa Barnstormers. Third-year pro out of West Virginia. Hamill, the pitch to Savage. Jeff Savage Savage, the leading rusher for the Milwaukee Mustangs.
You take a look at these two teams last year. The Rattlers pulled a hat trick on them, faced them 3 times, and got 3 victories, including in the playoffs, a 46-29 win that started them on their way to Arena Bowl 11 championship. They seem to have Milwaukee's number. Todd Hamilton from Milwaukee, a great quarterback, owner of a couple of career passing records in the league, but needs to get out to a quick start against this tough defense.
Second down, 9 Mustangs. Hamill complete again to Adrian Gerald. Good for only 3 or 4 yards before he was knocked out of bounds by the leading tackler in the Arena League in 1997, Cedric Walker.
Well, for Milwaukee and their quarterback, Todd Hamill, he found himself in a very interesting position in week 1. He wasn't the starter. For 3 years, he had been the man starting, taking the snaps. Kevin McDougal out of Notre Dame, the coaches said clearly played better in the preseason, and he got the start, and they're glad he did. He got some arena experience. Now they feel more comfortable with Todd, the true veteran of the group.
3rd down and 6. Kevin Pratt, the man in motion, and it looks like Hamill was able to draw the Arizona front 3 people off sides. The completion is good for a 1st down, and getting up from the bottom of the pile, Gary Compton.
We saw this last week. Mike Kowalski, the quarterback for Albany.
Number 10 is too wide. Penalty is declined. 1st down.
Flint Fleming playing defensive end. Now, when you line up at defensive end, you cannot be wider than the offensive lineman. You can only be shoulder to shoulder. That's as wide as you can go. If there's any space in between those shoulder pads that the referee or back judge can look through, that's an illegal formation.
So Milwaukee has a 1st down at the Arizona 14-yard line. Again, Pratt, the man in motion, giving Milwaukee 3 wide receivers to the left, but Hamill goes the other way to his fullback, Jeff Savage, and touchdown Mustangs.
Boy, that's exactly what Milwaukee needed against this tough Arizona defense. Talking to Rick Frazier, their head coach, Ben Bennett, the offensive coordinator for Milwaukee before the game, saying we've got to get out to a start on these guys here. Arizona back in a deep zone. Hunky Cooper, the Jill linebacker, trying to come across to cover Savage, but Hamill, a nice touch pass. He throws it over the top of Hunky Cooper for the easy touchdown.
1996 All-Arena first-teamer Kenny Stucker on to attempt the extra point. It is up, and it is good. Milwaukee in the snake pit draws first blood as a result of that 14-yard touchdown pass. Todd Hamill to Jeff Savage. Back with more Arena football. Well, he won't break into a smile yet, because when he's indoors on this 50-yard field, Rick Frazier, the head coach of Milwaukee, knew this season, after 3 seasons as a defensive coordinator, he is all business. Gotta like what he sees so far. So far, the Mustangs air-free football. The result, a 7-point lead on the defending champions. And that last scoring drive to Milwaukee, impressive. 7 plays, 45 yards. Todd Hamill on the night has yet to throw an incompletion. Mike, 9 for 9.
And you look at this drive, most scoring plays in arena football, anywhere from really 3 to 5, maybe 6 plays. 7 plays is a long drive. And as you said, he's doing what Cedric Bonner did in week 1, start off ripping off your first 8 or 9 pass completions in a row. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. This Milwaukee team has got to match Arizona punch for punch.
Cedric Bonner, the Arena League's pass efficiency leader after 2 games, also in 1997. He's got Herb Duncan, and we've got a flag in the Arizona backfield.
Doesn't matter where you're playing football, a flag in the backfield by the quarterback on a pass usually means holding on the offense. And it's got to be pretty blatant to get called. You really have to have your arms out to really tackle somebody.
Holding. Number 50 on the offense. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. Repeat the 1st down.
We've seen a lot of flags tonight already by both teams, especially Arizona. That's not really what the defending Arena Bowl champions are really made of. This has got to not be pleasing Danny White. Mistakes are one thing, but penalties, a whole different ball game.
Bonner going Dangerous newcomer Marvin Bagley, outstretched arm, didn't work. Back with more in a moment.
Downs in this game. We're in the second quarter. Both first downs by penalty. Milwaukee had 6 first downs.
Well, in weeks 1 and 2, a total of 123 points for Arizona's offense. Maybe this is what Danny White was talking about when he said we need to tighten up our ship a little bit. A little sloppy tonight. Bonner going for the big play. Overthrows Schexnayder, intercepted by Rodney Maison.
Well, Rodney Maison just turned around and it looked like a gift just coming to him. I don't think he expected it. You see, again, Schexnayder is the intended receiver. Maison will be on him all night. We just saw Cedric Bonner overthrow Marvin Bagley before at the quarter end, and now another overthrow. This one right in the hands of Rodney Maison. So a couple of overthrows by Cedric Bonner. This offense definitely not in sync.
And this coming from a much maligned defense and pass defense department ranked next to last coming into this game. Number 88, the Chet, the motion man. Instead, they throw the little screen out to Adrian Gerald. And the short stuff working for Milwaukee. Hamill now 10 for 10.
That's not a bad average right there as we take a look at the first quarter stats. Again, first down, 6 for Milwaukee, 2 both on penalties for Arizona. Milwaukee clearly outplaying them. Rick Frazier said before the game, we want 1 stop per half. That's our goal. Well, they got it. They've got their 1 stop. Anything else to him now is icing on the cake.
They had 6 stops last week in the loss to Orlando, but special teams miscues cost them that game. So defensively, those numbers might not be as accurate as well as this team is playing defensively. Bonner's certainly not looking as sharp as he's been in the past.
No, not at all. Arizona, we talked about their defense at the open. They may need to rely on them even more tonight to come up with some plays. Right there, you get a batted ball, causing 3rd down and 6. A big play for this Arizona defense. Their offense gave up a big play. They need to get one back. Milwaukee, a great chance to move on down the field and get 2 scores ahead of the defending Arena Bowl champions.
Milwaukee batting just under 50% on 3rd down. There's that big turnover you were talking about, Mike. Hunky Cooper, who else? He provides the impetus, the spark, anytime, any place, anywhere you need it. So after sitting on their hands for most of the first quarter, Hunky Cooper electrifies this America West crowd. Back with more in a second.
It will grip him in China.
Milwaukee leading 14-7, but they just committed a critical gaffe.
Hunky Cooper right here. He stays in the box for linebackers, it's called. He is not allowed to come out of that area from tackle to tackle. He just kind of hangs out. He can't go any wider. He waits, reads the quarterback's eyes, and just steps in front of the pass. Todd Hamill thought it was going over the top of him, but the Hunkster said no.
Tonight he's got a 31-yard kickoff return, a 15-yard interception return. He's going after Iron Man of the Game honors again. Arizona's got a first down at the Milwaukee 10. And now they've got a touchdown. Touchdown number 2 for Shakes Calvin Schexnayder.
He put a move on Rodney Maison. That's why they call him Shakes. That's all I got to say. He shook Rodney Maison out, and he broke back in, and he was wide open for the touchdown. Watch the shake. He's going to shake Maison out. He goes in, says thank you very much for touchdown number 2.
Did Rodney even get a hand on Shakes?
He completely thought Calvin Schexnayder was going to break to the outside. Shakes shook those hips, took it in.
Almost broke my back from up here. Kyle Pooler on to attempt his 2nd extra point of the night. He's 2 for 2. And for Calvin Schexnayder, touchdown number 2, touchdown number 9 in just over 8 quarters of play.
ESPN brings you the toughest game on the planet. the world of rugby on ESPN. ESPN's boxing gives you a ringside seat for the hardest-hitting, toughest fighters from around the world. Seasoned veterans and up-and-comers compete in top-flight competition. Watch the best in boxing on ESPN.
ESPN Sports Center International. Beaming sports' greatest half hour to your home 7 days a week. For highlights, scores and updates from the sporting world, turn to Sports Center International, only on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
If you're not playing to win, why play at all? ESPN, we always win.
The venom starting to flow here for Arizona, courtesy of the wonderful chemistry that exists between Calvin Schexnayder and his quarterback, Cedric Bonner. Danny White talked to us earlier about it.
They're getting pretty good at it. I mean, I've felt that as a player, and I know, you know, you look at Montana Rice and Young and Rice and some of the great combinations in the NFL, and they're close to having that kind of rapport. To the point that it's almost scary to see some of the things they do and some of the places that Cedric throws the ball and they come off the field. So how did you know he was going to make that move? How did you know he was going to come out flat instead of come out steep? And you know, you can't explain it. It's just, you just feel it and you just know it. And you're linked together somehow, and they're getting very close to being about as good as you can get.
And if it's scary for Danny White, imagine if you're a opposing defensive back, Mike.
Well, again, Rick Frazier, head coach of Milwaukee, said we need to keep Calvin Schexnayder 4 touchdowns or under. Calvin, 12 minutes to go in the half, has 2. He's halfway there.
So both teams have 14 points. Both teams have 1 defensive stop. And look, here comes another Milwaukee miscue. Oh, man. Rodney Maison led the league in kickoff returns a year ago. Normally ultra-reliable, but a special teams play by Demasio Green.
Wow, that went off Demasio Green's helmet. That's what made it a free ball. Watch, Rodney Maison does not get a good read coming off the net. It bounces more out in front of him. Hits his arm, and then it catches Demasio Green in the helmet. That is a live football right now. Randy Gatewood says, well,
I'll take the gift touchdown. You look good in my resume. Well, this is what Arizona does to you. You can be beating them in all phases of the game, and then all of a sudden, turnover, interception, bang, 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 they're out in front. Arizona leading 21-14, and Milwaukee's Demasio Green, the wrong man at the wrong time in the wrong place.
Keep an eye on that man. The ball will bounce and catch his helmet. That's what opens the ball up. It actually hit Maison's arm, so it's free there. But there, it hits the helmet. Now, it bounces over to where there's nobody. Randy Gatewood gets the easy score. Again, Demasio Green gets beaten by Calvin Schexnayder on the first touchdown, and now he's just, as you said, the wrong place at the wrong time.
And Mike, any league, NFL, any kind of football, collegiate or otherwise, you commit turnovers, you pay for it.
See how Maison plays this one off the net. It's very, very important.
High and deep into the soft part of the netting. Maison will try to run it out. Flag from deep upfield.
That flag came in almost from the other end zone. What a
It went
throw.
longer than the kick.
Yeah. Holding on the kicking team. Kind of seeing a sway. You saw the early penalties on Arizona. And now you're seeing him on Milwaukee.
Holding. Number 99 on the receiving team. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
Well, that's Ralph Jarvis. Again, he's nursing a bad ankle. Anytime you get holding like this, Mike, a lot of times that means your man has run by you or beaten you, and that may have to do with his bad ankle, so he might be reaching out to grab a hold of somebody, and he gets the call.
You saw him raise his right arm. He's signifying that he is the eligible receiver in this configuration for Milwaukee. Holding again, perhaps.
I think this one's going to go against Darren Kenny, the nose tackle.
Illegal formation. Number 58 on the defense. 3-yard penalty. Repeat the first down.
Yeah, what he does is right before the snap, he has to stay head up. He's got to stay head up. He starts to cheat this way. Right before the snap, you'll see him just move a little bit. That means he's shading. Watch him move right there. That's all it takes. And now he becomes a shading lineman. You have to start the play head up on the center. You cannot be on his shoulder at all.
That's number 58, Darren Kenny. Listen to Ben Bennett and Todd Hamill.
On the play.
The same thing, but look front side.
Okay.
A gain of 9.
Left, X high, 91 read, on two, ready?
11.
Again, X is the high man. He'll come up on the motion. 90 is a 3-step drop. He said 91, so the line will slide. You heard that X read again. He gets to choose his route.
There's the high motion man, Kevin Pratt. Hamill going in the other direction, deflected by number 44, Bobby McMillan. Another one of Arizona's outstanding two-way players.
That's his second block of the night. Take a look at these two quarterbacks going head-to-head. Todd Hamill clearly the advantage. Sed Bonner, the leading efficiency passer and touchdown thrower in the league. But right now, we've seen a couple of an overthrown ball on sure touchdown, another overthrown ball that led to an interception. He's off of it tonight.
Well, his last interception came on third down. It's third and short yardage this time around. Number 96, Tony Henderson, the Arizona player in the Milwaukee backfield.
Well, Todd Hamill, been in this league 7 years.
Offside. Number 96 on the defense. 3-yard penalty. First down.
That 7 years obviously puts him as a veteran, and that is a veteran quarterback move. Again, we saw it last week with Albany and New Jersey. We saw it the first week with Arizona and Iowa in our TV covered games. These linemen, again, look at the ball. Don't listen to the snap count. Again, I can't say it too much because I did do it, but you've got to watch the ball. Don't listen to the quarterback.
So, first down for Milwaukee now. Hamill going underneath to Gary Compton. He breaks 2 tackles, almost a third, as he nearly spun out of the arms of number 17, Randy Gatewood.